Hi everyone. Today's video is a request video from one of the subscribers of my YouTube channel, and the question is how to break through from fear and shyness while communicating. So the essence, whatever I understood, is how to overcome the fear of communicating. Well, that's a great question to ponder upon. So, thank you very much for asking this question and sitting in that inquiry. But before I dive deeper and share what I believe to be true and what has worked for me, I would ask you to ponder upon a couple of other things before you put your focus into the how to do things. The first thing is, why would you like to communicate well? Or rather, if I can put it this way, that you want to communicate well because, and fill in the blank as to why it is important for you. Because you have to understand the intent and the focus where you're putting your attention to. You may spend the entire life figuring out how to, because there are many things which you will not know. But in that not knowing, if your intent is very, very profound, if you're very passionate about that, and you really see and get the side effects of not communicating well, then what will happen is you will want to communicate well. So the first premise on which you have to base your foundation is focusing on the right thing. And that is, if I may invite you to fill in this blank, and feel free to comment as you listen to this video. I want to communicate well because it could be anything. So if I can say that, because I want to be understood, because I want to be included, because I want to be, I want to contribute to the bigger picture, because my communication matters. So there could be n number of things, the reasons, and you know better than anyone else. And so before even sharing what are the things that you can do, my invitation as a coach would be to work with someone, find a coach, a person whom you trust, and then who is trained in that coaching skill to elicit and evoke that possibility in you, and find out what works for you, what is holding you back, and why you have not been able to do it. Because I'm sure this question might have come to you in the past as well. And this is not the first time that you are asking this question to yourself. And you might have also Googled ways to understand how people communicate, what are the things to do, but then why hasn't it happened? That's a very good space to ponder upon. And that can be found out because you are unique. Your, you know, the kind of experiences, life experiences that you have had until now are unique to you. So it is important that you deal with this thing person to person. And that can only happen in a safe space where you're comfortable talking and seeing for yourself what is it that is holding you back. When did this fear develop? When did this belief in you developed that you're not a good communicator, or how this you not being able to communicate well and not being able to get out of your shell has contributed to things unwanted in your life. You can pick up any aspect, maybe in relationships, maybe in your professional life, maybe in your communication to yourself, even. So you are the best person who can answer this how to, provided you are facilitated by a trained professional like a coach who can then help you see what you're not seeing. And post that, the action taking steps are very easy. But before that, this is what is important. Now, coming to sharing, the tips that would be, um, check on the belief system that you have. What made you to think that you're not a good communicator? That's a very important question. Um, what is it that made you think, feel, believe, and come to a conclusion that you are not a good communicator? Or when you go up and stand there in front of people and you want to communicate, things do not come up. What could be the reasons for that? Those are the things you need to ponder upon. And remember that nobody becomes a good communicator just like that. You walking through your own resistance and fears will give you the breakthrough that you're looking at. And for that, your willingness is very, very important. Willingness to see where you're stuck, willingness to put your focus and attention to the right things, which will help you to get to that level that you're wanting. Many times we put our focus on things which is not required, like comparison. We tend to compare, we tend to see other people communicating really well, and we think that, wow, they are like doing amazing. We do have a desire to be like them, but then our focus is majorly on the lack that we do not, we cannot, we can't, we lack in. And so that acts as a big hindrance because our focus is absolutely on the thing which we don't have. And so we experience things in our life and situations which will remind us of that. It is a law of attraction, basically. So where you're putting your focus, that's very important. And start small in. Maybe the first starting point would be like you asked me a question and you communicated, right? So it takes a lot of courage and guts to ask a question and be vulnerable about one's own weakness. And you did that. So that's a great starting point. Now, take it a little further. Maybe talk to a group of your friends and see what shows up as you tend to speak up. Or another example I can give you is if you have friends with you who are really good communicators, um, sit with them, and then when your turn comes to speak, you know, please tell them already that you are trying and this is what you're trying to do. Try and speak, and then at that moment catch yourself. What is happening with you? What are the fears that comes up? And that is the moment, take a pause and note down what fears you have. It could be I feel shy because I feel that I'm inferior, or I feel that they laugh at me. I feel that I'll be thrown out if I share my point of view, and it may not be right. I feel making mistakes. I feel disgusted to be making mistakes. I feel not to be perfect. So many things can be there. And that is a starting point. Small step at a time, working on it. Talking to your fear. When did it show up? Why did it show up? What is the use now? What is the use of holding on to that fear? Is it really true that uh, people will not accept me if I share my point of view? There are a lot of examples I can give you, like Brené Brown, who is like upfront and people love her because she talks her heart out. So to answer this question, everybody is unique, and so I have to really understand what is it beyond this asking the question that you have put forward? And if you're willing, I would be happy to have a live coaching session with you as well. Or maybe we can record a coaching session and then put it across on YouTube so that people can see. If you're willing, muster that courage. You can feel free to write to me at my email ID, which is there in the YouTube channel itself. About section, if you click on email ID, you can just write to me. And yeah, so this is it I have, because if you're looking for something really, really transformative and deep, then this is the way out. Otherwise, I can blabber here and say what has worked well for me, and that may not work well for you, because remember, we all are unique. Well, that's it I have for this question. Until next, keep out.